Okay, guys, welcome back to the Fantasy Chancer Game Week 2. We're getting into the nitty gritty now. Straight away, straight off the bat, I want to thank all 41 people that have joined the league so far. It's a great response, and we look forward to having a bit of banter, a bit of crack this year whilst doing the show. Now, last week, I ended up getting, let me get it up here. So I ended up getting 54 points last week, which I'm pretty happy with, I have to say. Obviously, Gavin Bazunu, who had in goals, didn't work out due to the fact they were playing Tottenham, and obviously with the form that Tottenham are in, and Antonio Conte there is doing a great job. Nico Williams, no clean sheet, also booked, so that didn't work for me in defence. But the gamble of William Saliba and Ben White paid off as Arsenal kept a clean sheet against Crystal Palace. Moving into the midfield, then Salah came up with a goal, Son with an assist. Pereira didn't do anything, as didn't Declan Rice. Jesus and Harry Kane, two of my three strikers, actually didn't score last week, but Haaland came in with 2 goals for a respectable 54 points last week. So I'm happy enough with that. But if we go into the upper tier league, we're just going to have a look at the current standings, early standings from game week 1. So we see Barry Allen there, good friend of mine. Barry is out in front there with an impressive 84 points last week. Followed closely by another good friend of mine, Kevin Mullally, on 81. And we can scroll all the way down then, and we'll see that there's 40 in total here, 41, sorry, with a 42nd to be added in game week 2. So very, very happy with that. Just going to click into Barry's team here, see where Barry scored high last week. As you can see there, 84 points. Mendy in goals. Zinchenko done very well. Walker. Perisic didn't start, which a lot of people had Perisic in last week. So that may change. Salah captain. Tried and tested. Works again. And Mitrovic and Darwin Núñez. A lot of people didn't go for Mitrovic because a lot of people say, oh, well, that step up to the Premier League, mightn't be good. But Mitrovic certainly silencing the critics starting last week. So for this week, I am going for this. In goals, Gavin Bazunu. I've committed to Gavin Bazunu now in goals. That's just going to be my keeper for the foreseeable anyway, because I wanted to have a cheap keeper. After the double clean sheet last week by White and Saliba, I'm going to stick with them. Leicester not in the best of form, so I think it's a good time for Arsenal to play them with the kind of maybe the uncertainty around some of their key players as well. A lot of key players kind of out the door. Nathan Collins, I've put Nathan Collins in this week at home to Fulham, and obviously, look, Fulham had a great game last week against Liverpool, but Wolves generally have been good at the back in recent seasons, but with Connor Cody moving out the door now, it's going to be a big ask for Nathan Collins to step up this year, and he's going to have to be somewhat of a leader in that defence. So whilst it's still a gamble, obviously all my defence is a gamble because they're cheap as chips. Into the midfield, Mo Salah, obviously in again. Didn't make him captain last week. Should have made him captain last week. I went with my heart over my head and I went for Gabriel Jesus, who had a very good game in fairness against Crystal Palace, but didn't get on the score sheet. So beside Mo Salah, we've got Son again. Obviously a very what seems tricky fixture for Tottenham away to Chelsea. But if you're looking at both teams at the moment, you would fancy Spurs to at least get a draw out of that game with the mood that they seem to be in and how Conte has pretty much got Spurs rocking at the moment. So remains to be seen how far Spurs can go this season. But certainly with that man Son, he's always consistent. Andreas Pereira in again. Didn't see a lot of him last week against Liverpool. Was a little bit disappointed, but it is early doors in the season, so we're just going to have to wait and see. And then Declan Rice. I know Declan Rice, he is cheap as well, but he's defensive midfielder. Technically, he doesn't come up with a lot of goals and assists, but he's in there. He's good for bonus points from time to time as well for successful tackles and bits and pieces like that. So, and clean sheets, obviously. Front three is the same again. Harry Kane, Gabriel Jesus, Erling Haaland. I was very, very impressed with Erling Haaland last week. the way when he won that penalty, he grabbed the ball straight away. He's the penalty taker, so that's another big plus for him this season, that people know that he's going to take penalties when City get him, and City do get a lot of penalties because of the general trickery of their wingers and so on. Gabriel Jesus home to Leicester, as I say. Leicester not in the best of form, and a lot of uncertainty around them at the moment as a club, really. And then Harry Kane generally doesn't score in August, as people would say. And then last week, for Tottenham to pop up with 4 goals and none of them to be from Son and Kane was quite amazing, really. So remains to be seen, can Harry Kane, get a few goals in August this season? We'll see. Bench again, Willie Caballero, Nico Williams, who didn't have a good game last week, let's face it. I've drafted Patterson in as well for Everton, as he's a £4 million defender, but that could all change with recent signings and signings possibly to come. I had Lavia for Southampton, who had a difficult game at Spurs last week, and I'd expect them to hopefully pick up a bit of form in the next couple of weeks. So once again, I would like to thank everyone that has joined the league so far, and we're going to have a bit of fun this year with this one, and we're going to catch you next week. Enjoy the weekend's football, and don't forget to check out Niall and Darren on Monday for the Monday mashup. The guys are also live every Thursday, and there's lots of great content on the Upper Tier channel.